Thank you for joining me today again for Daily Life Connection as we continue to explore who God is. I'm going to go back again to the whole concept of light. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and what came into being in him was life, and that life was the light of all people. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John chapter 1, 1-3. And I want to explore one more concept of the light shining into our darkness. That light, it says, shines into the darkness. Not just a darkness, but the darkness. The darkness with which the enemy has blinded all of us to how much the Father loves us and how much he desires us to be in relationship with him. We become blinded to that. Just like the prodigal son in that foreign land, he was, or even the reason he ran, he somehow was blinded to how much the Father loved him, as was the older son. There is a blindness, a darkness, the darkness, the Gospel of John calls it, that blinds us and keeps us from seeing who God is and how much he loves us and what his desire for us is. And that it says the light shines in the darkness. And like I said, I want to talk a little bit today about our own personal darkness. The light shines into the darkest places of who we are. Those rooms in our lives that we keep shut, that we don't want anyone to see because they aren't beautiful, they aren't great. There may be junk in there that we just don't want to deal with. It says that the light shines in that darkness. The darkest places in my life, the light is already shining. Now, sometimes we have thought about that in a sort of fearful way. I don't want him to expose my darkness. I don't want him to see. Well, you know what? He sees us as we are anyway. So his light shining in our darkness is not that all of a sudden he is saying, oh my goodness, I didn't realize you were such a mess inside. He already knew that. It's so that we can see who we really are. And we can see him at work in it. Isn't that good news? You see, the light is shining in the darkness. In Philippians chapter 1, it said, he who began a good work in you will carry it on. In those dark places in our lives, those rooms that we're not so proud of, he is already at work there, and his light is helping us see how he's already at work and what he's doing in us. That light is a healing light. It's a wholesome light. It's like there is some truth in the idea that ultraviolet light will kill bacteria and viruses or whatever. That's the kind of light that the Father has. That light shines in us. It brings healing. It brings cleansing. It brings wholeness. It brings purity. His light is a wonderful thing. So we don't have to be afraid today of opening up the dark rooms of our lives to our God and say, let your light shine in. And feeling like if he lets his light shine in, we're going to be ashamed. We're going to feel guilt. We're going to want to withdraw and hide our faces. That's not the point of God's light at all. His light is there to cleanse us and make us more like him and to transform us into his glorious brightness, his blazing aliveness. And that light of Christ, that light of God is shining into us, he's not afraid of our dark places. His light shines in the darkness, in the worst places of all. His light is already shining there. And like I said, it brings a cleaning, it brings a revelation of what he is doing in us and how he is transforming us. That's good news, isn't it? So today, in our private time with God, we can welcome that light into the very darkest recesses of where we are. That light is not afraid of the darkness. It's not afraid of what it's going to expose. And because the light the light will deal with what darkness has messed up. Isn't that good? The light will deal with what if you put something in a dark, damp place, it gets moldy and pretty cruddy. And if you turn the light on, the light will take care of the mess that the darkness has made of things. Oh, that's such good news today. The mess in your life and mine that the darkness has made is going to be cleansed and fixed and renewed and restored by the light of God himself, the light of Christ. No wonder, there was, in Zechariah prayed, he said, the dawn has broken in upon us. It's wonderful because now there is a whole new beginning in us because the light shines in our darkness. Well, let's thank him for that today. Let's welcome that light into the very recesses of our lives, knowing that the results will be very, 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 very good indeed, because his light is not afraid of our darkness, and his light has the power to overcome it. It says the darkness has not understood or comprehended or overcome that light of God, and nothing in you or I will ever overcome the work that the light of Christ is doing in our lives. Oh, that's good news. Let's just take some time and rejoice about that today. And tomorrow we'll talk again. God bless.